Hello and welcome to the Festival of Media LatAm 2015. Now, alongside lots of the different content that we've got going on, we're also trying to introduce some of the hottest young talent in the Latin American region to some of the more experienced heads. And I'm delighted to say that our Academy Principal has joined me. Michael Jones, thank you very much.
Thank you.
How is it going so far?
It's fantastic. I mean, these things are exhausting, and that's what it should be. One of the trainers said to me yesterday, everybody's struggling a little bit, and I said, that's the point. That's why we're doing the training. We've got around, I think, about 40 people in the room. And exactly as you said in the intro, is that these really are some of the brightest and the best. They're representing from all different agencies. We've got a few media agencies, creative agencies, folks in there, and it's fantastic. I mean, it's so incredibly rewarding for me as a trainer to work with people. We took everybody out for dinner last night, and virtually all the students disappeared, and there were just the trainers left because they were all going to continue to work on their case studies. So
fantastic.
I'm really
actually,
pleased.
And on that note, if we able to share for the viewers, if you're able to explain what case study is, what project they've been set to work on.
So what we've done in the Academy this year is that we've looked at 5 core behavioral principles. How do people be persuasive? And it's a media business, so they've got to be able to be persuasive and negotiate. How can we get people to be more innovative and creative? How can we get people to think strategically? How can we get them to communicate with excellence? And also a broader and perhaps a newer area, certainly here, is a health and wellness look. So we literally have people, learning yoga, learning how to meditate. We have a local Miami artist that's come in to teach people how to paint themselves blindfolded. So it's been a much broader area, and we all base this around a client's at a real life brief. So this year we were really lucky to get Procter & Gamble in, and they've brought in a launch that they had last year, and all the groups are asked to actually come back, and in a few hours' time they're going to be presenting their recommendations for us, and again reinforcing the actual sort of training that we're doing. So this year it's been much broader than just what I call straightforward media planning. And it's really been about skills that I train juniors with, but I also train C-suite executives with as well. Because these are skills that everybody needs, both in their professional life as well as their personal life at times.
Yeah, and now you've worked in agencies all over the world, and you've seen how different talent operate in different regions, and I guess you're seeing how talent is changing as well. I mean, what are you noticing about people from this region and entering the industry? Are there any particular traits and characteristics you're noticing?
It's a good question. I mean, I've run agencies in every region around the world. I mean, there is an incredible enthusiasm in Latin America, and there is an incredible enthusiasm for learning. I mean, these people, it's like these people arrive, and they're like dry sponges, and you turn on the sort of tap of knowledge and training, and they soak it up, and you see how they change. I think the biggest challenge, and I think many industry folk would agree with me on this for Latin America, is definitely the thinking strategically. This has not been a region that has had to put a lot of effort into that. Because historically it's really been a TV dominated market, and it's really in the past 10 years that there are far more media opportunities, and if you've got many more opportunities, then you need to be able to articulate your thinking and your recommendations in a more sort of detailed fashion. I didn't like that answer.
No. I'm sure. No.
Sorry.
And these are, as individuals, they are mobile first. They are social.
They're millennials, and I think I've found, certainly since I've sort of retired from the front line of agency management, I am a Generation X, and my approach to my job, my career, my profession, my personal life is different than a millennial. And I think it's really, really important that leaders who tend to be of an older generation have to understand that we've got to work with millennials differently, because people don't go into a job for life. People want much more flexibility in how they work, the hours they work, where they work. We need to embrace technology far more to facilitate that. And I think that's a challenge for the older generation, who tend to be the leaders in our business, because these guys very, very quickly are going to become the new leaders. And unless we adapt in our business to acknowledge that, it's very often for a kind of Gen Xer to sort of, when we talk about sort of younger employees, employees and stuff. We say, oh, well, they have this sense of entitlement, and they've only been working for 5 years and they've had 5 different jobs. That's kind of life. We just have to accept that now, and therefore we need to change rather than expect this new generation to change in our way.
Yeah, and it's interesting you mentioned that two-way process. I mean, thank you very much for your time as the Academy principal. I mean, what I suppose, what do you gain from it in terms of being surrounded by these?
Do you know,
these
in
kids?
fact, I was talking about this to everybody yesterday, and we were talking about how to be happy. And it is, and I'm an ex-CEO, right? So I like science and data, and I'm a media guy, so I like that. I like proof in terms of this. And there is absolute proof that giving back and philanthropy makes people happier than any other situation. For me, I've spent sort of 25 years working in this industry, a lot of the time in sort of developing and emerging markets, and I just love doing it. I just love doing this kind of thing. And yesterday morning, we had 40 people, some of them knew each other, most of them didn't, and everybody's a bit nervous. And to see how they were yesterday morning, to see how they are just 36 hours later, how they're interacting with each other, the confidence they had. We had a fantastic session that had never been done before at the Academy, which was called Learn from the Leaders. And we brought in 4 sort of leading voices in our business in Latin America. And to see sort of 40 students who very rarely get the opportunity to ask all of these questions and, what did they do right, maybe some of the stuff they didn't right. Absolutely fantastic. And so I just get happy doing it. Genuinely, as you can see, I'm happy doing it.
Well, no, we're really pleased to hear that, and we're really, grateful for your time and energy in the Academy.
Absolute pleasure.
And I hope you enjoy the rest of the project.
Absolutely, will do.
Thank you very
I've got to
much.
go back now to do those training.
Thank you.
Thank you so much indeed.
Cheers.